Hi, I'm Mayor Mickey Thompson. Today we're going to be taking a behind-the-scenes look at City TV. I know many of you have asked how this program is put together and some of the equipment that we use and especially the backgrounds and the filming locations that we use. So I'm excited today to talk with Kellie Hunter and some of the staff that actually put this program together for you. So you, the viewing audience, will be able to tell how we actually produce these programs. And so today's program is going to be very exciting, so stay tuned to Ask the Mayor. Well, it's certainly a pleasure to be with you today as we kind of go behind the scenes and taking a look at how this program and all the programs on Channel 25 are put together. But before we do that, let's talk just briefly a little bit about how we got to the point of actually filming and putting together City TV programming. This was a process, at least the thought process for this program, actually started approximately 4 years ago because of the need for the public to see what their elected officials were doing and how their city government is being operated without having to actually come to a particular city council meeting. This program and this station is a vehicle for you to take a look at city council meetings and the decisions that your city council makes actually on the first and the third Monday of each month. They are here in the council chambers, and actually I'm talking to you from the council chambers now, and later in this program we're going to show you how this program is put together. Now you're actually watching this and you would never know that we're actually sitting inside the city council chambers. So we look forward later in the program to show you how this is actually done. But 4 years ago, the City Council had the vision and the thought of actually starting the city's TV program, which is what you're looking at today. And it's taken that long actually to get to a point where the City Council had the funding necessary to provide the equipment and the assets and everything that was necessary to do the programming. But this does enable you to watch your city government in action. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the programs, and Kellie Hunter, who is the supervisor of this area and actually was the first employee that was hired. We're going to talk with her later in the program about how we got to the point of where we are today. So please stay tuned. Well, with me today is Kellie Hunter, the Communications Director for the City of Douglasville. Kellie, thank you very much.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
It's kind of great to be on this side of the camera.
That's right. Normally when I see you and when we're filming these Ask the Mayor programs, I'm usually looking at you behind the camera on the other side. But
That's right.
It's a pleasure to talk with you today. I know that we started this process in December of 2006 when you came to work for the City of Douglasville. And there's certainly been a lot of things that have happened since then. So I hope we have an opportunity today to talk about some of those things. But maybe you could just give our audience a little bit about your background and how you got to where we are today.
Well, I'd be glad to. It's been a fun ride. It's been a fast ride. It has been right at a year that I came on board and began the process. We started at ground zero. I think the idea, the council with the birth and the vision for the station and the implementation of it, but actually putting the step-by-step progress together is what I was able to come in and have the liberty and the freedom and the guidance, of course, from yourself as a mayor and the council, but just be able to put together a birth and a vision for the station and for the City of Douglasville. I'm a resident of Douglasville since 1974, so this feels like home. And I have a lot of interest, I guess, in what we're able to bring to our citizens through City TV. So I'm excited about that. A year ago, let's see, I think it was February, the middle of February was the first piece of equipment we bought was a camera. And I feel like that became my third arm because everywhere that I went, I began grabbing footage for City TV and grabbing B-roll is what we call it, to put together content for programming that we knew we would be moving forward with in the months ahead with the station. But I'm familiar with TV, familiar with radio. A lot of my background goes with that. So as far as writing scripts and producing programming, I've done that both on this side of the camera as well as on the other side of the camera. So it's exciting.
Well, you've done a great job. You and your staff both have done a great job because we've been here since day one and we've saw the really steady progress that you've made. And probably none of us knew about all of the work that goes into getting a station like this started from scratch, because when you think about it, a year ago, less than a year ago, we had no camera. We had a vision of what we wanted to do for the public and how we wanted to make this government more accessible to the government and make it easier for those who live in Douglasville to see what their government was doing and to become better informed about how the city was progressing and some of the things that were going on in the city. And I know that with your expertise, not only did you have to establish the programming and get the programming on the air, but you had to actually buy all of the equipment that was necessary to actually go live on Channel 25. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you chose the equipment and what you chose and how it works. And I know later in this program we're going to go behind the scenes and we're going to show the audience how we're sitting in a city council room with a screen behind us that's really not what the audience is seeing. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about the process you went through to select the equipment and the software and all of the things that you use to make this program work.
Okay, so we're gonna dispel the rumor that we're not in Hollywood.
I think we are. You know, I'll be honest with you. Shortly after you went live with Channel 25, several people did ask me, Mickey, where is that studio that you're filming in? And one of the questions they asked was, how much did it cost you to put together this elaborate studio that you're filming in? So I know we're going to show the audience that it's not really that elaborate.
Well, I think they're going to have fun understanding how it's put together, but we're in the council chambers of City Hall. We have virtually a green screen behind us, and we'll kind of go into the technology of how we do that in just a moment. But jumping back to a year ago when I walked in, it was ground zero. Virtually no equipment, just the vision and the idea to go forward. And so moving forward and following council's direction, we went out and I worked with 3 different vendors, actually a 4th vendor, but 4 different vendors to bring in and test and give me demonstrations of product, of equipment that would work. I think we had some preliminary, before I was on the scenes, of people who had assessed the council chambers that we're in and had said you would never be able to film in a location like this.
They did.
They said that the room itself wasn't conducive to it, other things. We came in with the guidance of different vendors, information that I even learned as I went through the process myself. We transformed the council chambers. As you look around, the walls were basic white. The DIOS workbench area was a hard, dark wood tone.
It was.
So it was a very contrasting element for camera to work with. We also had acoustic and some lighting issues. However, I feel like I've worked the budget that the council set aside and allotted for this in a very reasonable manner, because we came in and one particular lighting vendor had quoted a lighting system of $15,000. We couldn't do that.
Right.
So we came in and began to find other elements that we could put in place. We changed out the lighting in the entire room. That helped us with that. We have the curtain that we put up behind us, which gives a very presidential, regal feel to the room. We added the two-tone governor's panels to the DIOS workbench area, so that gives all those elements begin to become camera friendly for the environment in order to, to project the quality of the viewers that we were looking to get the information out to them. So that was one of the major things that I began working on. It took a process of time for all of the equipment to not just go through the process of determining which equipment, but once it was determined, ordering it, then bringing it in, engineering it all together so that we have a full program. Equipment that I brought in was, of course, we have in the council chambers. Maybe we can show that in some of our B-roll that we'll drop to. But we have 3 cameras that are able to grab all of the council meeting, the different angles. So everyone who's speaking to the council, within the council, we're able to grab the angles on that. Presentations that are made, we're able to catch all that on camera as well. We also purchased field cameras, so we're able to go out into the events of the community and capture a lot of the events that happen there. I know we do the chamber luncheon monthly on a basis there. A lot of the events that the city sponsors on O'Neill Plaza, we're able to set up. I know we've grabbed different shots. The most recent one was the tour of homes over the 1st of December, and the events taking place there, the annual chili cook-off. We filmed this last 4th of July parade from that right there at City Hall. So we're able to put all of those elements together into different programming and packages that we use in our shows and our product. So it's been a long process of putting the equipment together, transforming some of the areas, utilizing the areas to the best that we can. We don't have a full area within City Hall, space-wise, for a studio. So that led to, in some of my vision of putting this together, moving, not only did we start off with digital equipment, so all of our program is recorded and packaged together, produced as digital format, but we also brought in what we call virtual sets, and thus the green screen that's behind us. And so each of the programs that we have, or that we use, and I should say the Ask the Mayor program, the On the Agenda program, the police report, and the lineup. Those are the 4 right now that we use a virtual set with, and they're custom designed to, to the feel and the look of the program that's actually produced.
Well, and it was interesting actually to see this TV station evolve and start from scratch, because I know here in the council chambers, and I say here in the council chambers, our audience thinks we're somewhere else, but we're sitting here in the council chambers, and as I look behind me, I can see the area where the council sits. And as we would come in each week, and as you were designing this area for broadcasting the city council meetings, there would be a little bit more construction that was done each week. And by the way, everything was done by city staff. The actual city staff did the painting of the room and all of the cabinetry work that they did here in the council chambers to make the chambers work for filming of our meetings. And so it was interesting to see that evolve over a period of time, and it did take a period of time to get everything just right. But the interesting thing was, I remember that the first city council meeting that you and your team filmed, actually neither the council nor I knew that you were filming that particular meeting, because I'm sure, I guess you thought and staff thought there was going to be some apprehension from our council or something like that. But the very first meeting that was aired was filmed without the knowledge of the city council. And actually, if you didn't look up and see the cameras in the ceiling, you probably wouldn't know that these meetings are being filmed as we have them, although your control room is off to the left of where we're currently sitting here. So from the standpoint of the city council, it does not, actually the council nor I, usually we're not even aware that the meetings are being filmed. So congratulations for doing such an excellent job here to make the filming of the meetings and the public's business being transacted it's really not intrusive into conducting the public's business. As a matter of fact, unless we tell the audience that they're currently being filmed, which we did the other night, if you remember.
We did.
But I know you went through a long process to get us to this point. The process that you went through, I know you bought equipment that you actually needed, but we did a cost analysis several months ago on how much this program cost each citizen that lives in the city of Douglasville, and it's actually less than $3 per year per citizen to actually let them see how their government is working. So I wonder if maybe you could tell us a little bit about, and our audience, about some of the things that you and your team have planned for the future. I know we've got various programs that we do. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things that you think we should be doing in the future and you plan to do in the future?
City TV was birthed out of the word citizen. And what we want City TV to be is a programming vehicle for the citizens of Douglasville and Douglas County. And so when you look at that, and to answer the question, what could we do in the future, it's really almost endless. As much staff as I can bring on, that's as much programming as we can bring to the people. But currently, I think I have on board with me Jason Post and Stephen Jones. Great team. In fact, our credits, we don't credit ourselves out as who was the camera person, who worked audio, who did this, because we all do it. All three of us edit, all three of us run a camera. We all write portions of script and pull elements of the programming together. So we credit ourselves as the City TV production team because that's exactly what we are. But what we're doing right now is we are producing equivalent to 8 programs a month, in addition to 2 City Council meetings. We're producing 2 Ask the Mayor programs per month on a bi-weekly basis, 2 on the agenda programs, which is with our City Manager, Bill Osborne. We have the police report and the lineup, which is our Parks and Recreation program with Tracy Ivy, our director there. And then we have a program, Main Street TV, with Stephanie Allworth, who is our Main Street manager. Right. And she's highlighting different buildings and the historical value, the architectural value of the buildings that are in the downtown Douglasville area. And then we're also doing, it's our fun program, but it's Gov 101. And so we want everyone in Douglasville to be able to say that they know Jeff Knowles, and that's kind of an inside joke with us. We have fun with that program on screen as well as behind screen. But that's, I think we're also going to, in the next segment, you'll have the opportunity to see some of the fun graphics that we add to that. But as we look forward with what we can provide to the community, we have a programming piece called the Public Information Guide. And what that will be is virtually the ability, when we get it set up with the different entities throughout the city and the county, they'll be able to publish the information of the activities that they have going on in the community. We have the capabilities with the type equipment that we've brought in, as well as software and the programming, that we can make urgent and timely announcements to the citizens. Once we are completely 24/7, if you came in one morning and needed to make a direct statement of any kind to the citizens of Douglasville and Douglas County, we could have that on air virtually within minutes if need be. So we have the capability of doing some live broadcasting that we're moving forward with in the future. We have the Public Information Guide, which is available to the public to use as well as to be informed. And we have other programming ideas. We have a community calendar type program that we're going to be calling City Connector. And don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but hopefully after the first of the year we'll be able to put that together. And the teaser for that is, if you want to be on camera, watch and listen for when City Connector will be rolling out, and that'll give you your opportunity.
You know, talking about being on camera, I must say that the city staff, the department directors, they have really embraced this City TV and the programming for the City TV to highlight their departments.
Yes.
And you know, the ones that come to mind is public safety. I know Chief Wisnett and his staff, he has his program, and he has guests that come on that program. And and I watch each one of these as they come up. Of course, I don't see them in advance, so I'm not sure what the departments, what you're filming in each of the departments. But I must say that the department directors, especially, that have came on camera with their guests, they are really providing,
Yes.
I think, a very good product for the citizens, because you can learn about things that are going on, you can
Yes.
learn about things that are going to happen in the future, and you can learn about how the government works, how the citizens' government works, and how we work for them. And it was encouraging to me because I really thought that we were going to have a difficult time getting some folks to come on and talk about their departments, because there are some good things that are happening in the city. There are a lot of good things that are happening in the city that you usually don't know about unless you're involved in that particular area,
Right.
whether it's, maybe you're just involved in the Parks and Recreation Department and you don't know what's happening over in the community services area and some of the other areas. So that has really been encouraging. I don't know what you've done to embrace these folks to get them to come on, but they have done a remarkable job.
Well, I think everybody initially, when you ask them or you say you're going to be on camera, it's that stage fright. Just like you alluded to the first council meeting.
Right.
I think if we had alerted everyone that we were filming, it might have been that stage fright thing. But everybody has overcome it. They've been very easy to work with. They're eager to learn. They're eager to be coached. They want to know, now can I do that different? Was that okay? Everybody wants to be very polished. Right. Everybody wants to come across with, with the class and professionalism, which is what I've found in working with people here within the city. The city government is everybody takes pride in what they do, and I think that's a good thing, because that's what we're wanting to do with City TV. Is we're very proud of Douglasville. Douglasville is a great community, not just because it's home to me, but and has been for many years, but it is a great community. A lot of good things happening, and when we have great leadership in position and making good quality decisions, our citizens need to know that. They need to be involved. And so City TV is just another vehicle, another way for them to connect with their government and connect with their community. And so we're excited about being able to do that with our programming.
Well, you're doing a great job. And I've got to tell you, when I go, and I do a fair amount of traveling, but when I go to another city, and it's usually on business, one of the things I do in the hotel room that night is I search for the government access channel. To really see, and you get a good flavor of a community by looking at their government access channel, and I've seen some very good ones and some that maybe were not so good. But the ones that really were doing a good job, just by watching for a few minutes, you got an idea about the community, about what they were interested in, and what the public was interested in, and so I think it's a very good vehicle for a lot of different things in our community, because if I'm going to other places and I'm staying in a hotel room and I'm looking at government access channel, other people who are coming to the city of Douglasville are doing the same thing. And oftentimes those people may be here on a job interview and they're going to relocate back to Douglasville or relocate to this area.
This area, right.
And so it gives them a good flavor and a good idea about our community. So I think it's great, and I'm glad that the city was finally able to do this. Actually, this was a promise of several city council members, actually in an election cycle, as I said earlier, about 4 years ago, where they said they would make their government more accessible and do it through a government access channel. So it took us a long time to live up to that promise, but we finally did, and we thank you and your staff for all that you've done that has enabled the elected officials to live up to a promise they made a long time ago.
Well, it's been our pleasure. We're excited about where we know that we can go. We have things lined up right now on our city website. Citizens can go in, and under the City and News, our News and Announcements section, there's a City TV now. It says Watch News. If you click that, it takes you to a second page. Click the video link there. And weekly we're updating a 3 to 5 minute news piece of just highlights of things that have happened in the community or within the city government, as well as ribbon cuttings that the chamber also sponsors. And also, hopefully after the first of the year, by the end of first quarter there, we'll be able to be streaming live all of our programming on the website. So not only is the TV of City TV a vehicle, but we're also making our web page and our website there with the city very accessible for more information to the citizens of Douglasville.
So if someone is, of course, if they're watching this program, they probably have cable. But with streaming video, if they're traveling and they want to see what happened with that particular zoning decision that was possibly in their backyard or front yard or very close to them, they would be able to look at, if they had a computer, if they had access to a computer, they would be able to see in real time the decision of the City Council. And I think that is certainly where we need to go. Technology, I mean, it's here to stay. There's no doubt about that.
Well, we're excited, and we're pleased to be able to move forward and just look forward to the great new things that we'll be able to provide the citizens of Douglasville on City TV.
Great. Well, thank you and your staff for everything that you do.
All righty. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
It's our honor.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's program. We are out of time for this program, but next week we are actually going to go behind the scenes and see some of the things that we talked about in today's program. So please join us for our next edition of Ask the Mayor.